Back to one of our top stories now. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa has called for a speedy turnaround time on policy adoptions. Ramaphosa addressed delegates at the resumption of the party's 55th National Conference. The ANC was forced to postpone its December program due to several delays. Govan Whittles joins me now from Mangaung. Govan, good afternoon. I presume everything has kicked off. What's the latest on the ground at the moment?
Well, we know that many of the reports from the commissions have already been presented to this hybrid plenary. We're joining you here from the Safari Lodge in Mangaung, where the headquarters really of the second leg of the ANC conference is. It's where the national leadership is, it's where the alliance partners are, where the league's leadership is, but it's also where the Free State delegation is. And then this is mirrored in every province across the country. They have hubs where delegates are sitting in, listening to the presentation of reports. So far, the presenters have been on strategy and tactics, on organizational renewal, on finance and sustainability, also on governance and transformation. They're not speaking to us just yet. That's because they only want to brief the public once they've resolved or made decisions on how they'll either continue with this policy or change it slightly. We're looking forward to hearing the changes in governance and transformation. We expect the ANC to come out of this conference with a strong endorsement for triple BEE, but expanding on how they want the program to reach more people following the criticism of the scheme. But remember that the president had said that he believes that BEE should continue to be the principal vehicle the ANC uses to drive the transformation of the economy. We could read into some of the policy conference decisions and discussions to kind of know what will happen here, but really we should leave room for some changes. What we are also expecting to hear is the ANC coming out with a firm decision on how much they want the threshold for the party funding donations from individuals to be raised up to. We understand that currently they contemplating raising it up to 50 million or 100 million. They believe that would be sufficient. Those, of course, just discussions in the corridors, no firm decisions on it yet. But what's interesting is that once they start reporting back, not only will we get an indication of what the ANC's changes in policy are, we'll get one step closer to them voting on constitutional amendments. One of the constitutional amendments that's interesting, and whether it will pass at this point is not clear because the provinces have been coy about whether they support it, is the concept of one member, one vote. If this passes at this conference, it means the next ANC president would be elected by all ANC members. Of course, we've seen audited membership figures for the ANC have reflected a significant decrease in the party's membership. In Mpumalanga alone, the membership dropping by nearly 50%. In the Northwest by 40%. Only the Western Cape has recorded a slight increase in membership of 20%, but significant drops in membership. A near collapse has even been experienced in the Nelson Mandela Bay region of the ANC, where the organizational report recorded it at 7,900. So there are big questions which are being asked about how that policy would affect the election of the next ANC president. But for now, there aren't many people saying much, and we're awaiting the outcomes of that commission reports and the discussions to hear what their decisions on policy are.
Well, you did mention the presence of the alliance partners. We talk about COSATU, the SACP. What are their expectations, or would you know what contributions they would make to the overall resolution and obviously implementation of some of these policies?
Let's begin with COSATU. They're currently in a standoff with the governing party, with the government rather, over the public sector wage agreement after the government unilaterally implemented a 3.5% increase after COSATU unions had rejected that offer from the government. Should be noted, SATU signed that offer while NAHAO, the biggest public sector union in COSATU, rejected that, and they're coming to this conference hoping to push the ANC to drop what is really a shadow moratorium on negotiations with public sector unions for consumer price index or consumer price inflation increases for the public sector workers. They also believe that the government should embark on an employment spree. It should be hiring more workers. That's directly COSATU's direct lobby to this conference. It should be pointed out, Hugo, that at Nasrec, the alliance was given the cold shoulder. Up until the last day, they hadn't met to discuss the reconfiguration of the alliance, and it appeared that COSATU felt insulted by the manner in which it was treated by the ANC. Nevertheless, it's released a statement saying that it hopes that the conclusion of the ANC conference today and tomorrow would lead to the governing party acceding to its requests to treat public sector workers better, but also to form a better working relationship with their unions in the public sector. COSATU is under pressure to secure this because the majority of its unions are now public sector unions. That's where it gets its bulk of its membership money from. It's been that way since NUMSA was kicked out of COSATU, and then FAO left COSATU as well. So that's COSATU, the workers on the one hand, forming the biggest portion of the alliance, COSATU having 2.3 million members. Remember, these are union members who are paying union membership to COSATU's affiliates. These affiliates are paying affiliation fees to the federation. These affiliates are also overseeing massive investment arms. So that really is a lot of money and a lot of people. It represents the working class base of the ANC. And the ANC will have to work carefully to make sure that it keeps them on side. When it comes to the SACP, the General Secretary, Solly Mapaila, did say that they hope to turn the ANC's economic policy to the left. That may be a vague statement, but he went further and was more clear in saying that the SACP believes they do not have a leftist candidate in the ANC's election race between President Cyril Ramaphosa and Dr. Zweli Mkhize. They didn't believe that the ANC was capable of implementing those policies under their leadership. Solly Mapaila had directly questioned whether President Cyril Ramaphosa has the moral standing to lead the renewal campaign of the ANC, and they believe that the ANC is on a path of neoliberalism. And in fact, at the Young Communist League conference, Solly Mapaila saying that the working class, the SACP, should prepare itself for after the conference, when they'll be butting heads with the ANC once again on matters of neoliberalism and essentially building the capacity of the state, protecting state infrastructure. We know that they disagree on the ANC's positions on the state-owned enterprises. And in that respect, the Commission on Governance and Transformation will lend us more insight into whether or not the SACP has been successful in trying to influence those discussions in the commissions and inevitably in the plenary, where many of its members who are SACP members also hold dual ANC membership and are delegates to this conference.
Govan Whittles, appreciate your time coming to us on the back of the resumption of the ANC's 55th National Conference happening in Mangaung.